Hey, on this episode we're going to take a look at the new drama in theaters, Let Him Go, starring Diane and Kevin Costner, and our usual trot through Facebook on this episode of The Monitors. Let Him Go landed in theaters on November 6th, and it's the film adaptation of the 2013 novel by the same name written by Larry Watson. The film reteams Jonathan and Martha Kent, that is Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, as George and Margaret Blackledge, an aging couple in the early 1950s who are mourning their son who was taken from them in an untimely riding accident. Their son's widow, Lorna, played by Kaylee Carter, after spending some time with them, remarries one Donnie Weeboy, whom Margaret witnesses is abusive to Lorna and her young son Jimmy, George and Margaret's grandson. Shortly thereafter, Lorna and her new husband Donnie abruptly move out of town. Margaret instantly decides that she's going to track them down and bring home her grandson. After some convincing, George agrees to accompany her, realizing that she would go without him. Drawing upon his experience as a former lawman with some 30 years in the profession, George is able to locate the Weeboy family in the outreaches of Montana. While tracking them down, we find out that the Weeboys have a reputation as being formidable, and we soon realize that Margaret and George are in for more than just a little struggle. Tom Bazooka directs the film, and he makes it feel like kind of a throwback. Though mostly set in 1951, Let Him Go is most certainly a Western, and it feels like one. It feels like the story might have actually played better had it been set a few decades earlier, but that feel of lawless frontier definitely comes across. Bazooka's directing makes the story more about the journey than the outcome. The opening scene sets up the backstory and exposition with minimal dialogue. It's almost told entirely visually and masterfully done. The rest of the story, while seemingly plot-driven, is actually just the opposite. Going in, you're of course anticipating the inevitable confrontation of the Blackledges and the Weeboys, and that definitely does happen. But this story is about the Blackledges, mainly Margaret. It's a story about a grandmother, about grieving parents, and two people who you can see have grown old together and shared a beautiful life, who undertake a very desperate quest. The best parts of the film are the quiet moments shared between Margaret and George. Lane and Costner have a nearly perfect chemistry. Both are entertaining to watch, particularly Costner, who gives George a world-weary quality which populates his quiet strength, every ounce of which he needs to wrangle the force of nature that is his wife. Many times throughout the film you can see the two of them communicating by simply exchanging glances. Lane and Costner are definitely the high notes, though the rest of the cast are also very good. Leslie Manville leads the Weeboy clan as their matriarch Blanche. She is scary just while offering up pork chops for dinner. She's definitely worth watching. Jeffrey Donovan is also creepy as Bill Weeboy. Donovan is such a great character actor. I always enjoy seeing him in something new. Will Britton also co-stars as Donnie Weeboy, Lorna's husband. Also of note is Boo Boo Stewart, who plays the sympathetic Peter Dragswolf who becomes an ally to the Blackledges. One of the areas where the movie falls a little short is the villains themselves. The Weeboys are preceded by a notorious reputation, but upon meeting them they seem like little more than a family of bullies. I mean, they are definitely dangerous, but there isn't anything that illustrates why their influence spreads as far as wide as it does. Also, while this might be the fault of the movie marketing, even the story title, it feels like so much anticipation is put on the inevitable confrontation between the two families, you might miss that the heart of the story is in watching the Blackledges' journey and their interactions. I suspect, like many novels, Let Him Go is a superior read to film adaptation, and that some of the best elements play better in the book than on film. But enjoy Let Him Go for what it is, a story of a grieving couple who undertake a Wild West adventure to retrieve their grandson, albeit maybe some 60 years after your classic Wild West time frame. But when there are so few offerings at the cinema, this one stands out and is well worth your trip and the time. If you have anything to say about anything that you saw or heard today, please leave your comments below. We'd definitely like to know what you thought of Let 'Em Go if you've seen it. Please give us a like. Definitely working hard to bring you content. And also, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button so you can be notified about new content. For now, that's it. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace, and we're out.